we're flipped. I keep forgetting we're always flipped. Hi, everyone. We're getting set here, making sure everyone can see everything.
It's our first time.
Yes, we've got some new people on today, which is great. Okay, let us know if you can hear us okay. If you can't, don't know what to do for you because I don't have that savviness really. But we'll wait just a quick second here. We start at 10. We're a minute off, so we're gonna give it a second.
Right. Get everybody on board.
We're gonna get everyone on board. Okay. We have someone.
I see that. Trust me, I see that.
Okay. Yes. And again, okay, so 9:59. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear and we're ready to go here. So hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining our Glove Lab live stream. We're almost at a year, which is kind of crazy. So this is our 11th. Yeah,
wow.
It's our 11th live stream.
That flew by.
So next month is going to be our anniversary live stream, and I think we have something special planned, so we're not going to quite reveal that yet.
With Sarah.
Yes, Sarah will be back. Maybe we'll have these lovely ladies on again at some point. So we'll do some intros here in a second. So today we are digging into disposable glove problems, and specifically the top 8 that we see. So, and of course, how to fix them. So let's give people a second. All right, we're at time, so this is perfect. Something we like to do to start off these live streams, as I'm sure you guys have seen, is we like to start with kind of a fun question. So please drop in the chat if you have an answer to this question. So what's something you absolutely wouldn't do without gloves?
I'll go first. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but we live over here in South Lake Tahoe, where mice just love to come in your house. And so if you are messing with mice, hands down, absolutely, you're going to need a glove for that.
Yep. That's definitely one.
That was going to be mine, unfortunately. But I guess anything to do with raw meat too. I hate the texture of raw meat to start with. So if I have a glove, I feel a little bit better about handling that.
Yes, chicken, always.
Chicken especially.
Yeah. Did you know I didn't know that until, not that I didn't know that, but I never used gloves before working here. And then now that I have them, I use them every
You can't not use them anymore.
Because it's so gross to me. Like, it was gross before, but I don't think I really knew that I could get disposable gloves. I know that's kind of a weird thing to admit, but I was like, oh, no, that's corporations, not for me at home.
No, but it is definitely for use at home.
Yes. The perk of working at Eagle Protection.
I know, it is. It's a great perk. So for me, though, I would say it's all those things for sure. The mice, the meat, but also cleaning out the fridge. I have a nasty habit of keeping things in my fridge for too long.
Oh,
which is bad, but it's like I don't know why I have a problem with this is genuinely a problem I have with strawberries. I will have strawberries. I'll have like 2 left, and I'll be like, well, I need the 2 left. I'll save those, and then they always go bad,
and then they create a mess in your fridge,
and I'm grossed out.
Yeah.
So anyway. Well, too much information for me today, but let's jump in.
Okay, let's jump in.
So if you've got questions as we go, please put them in the chat. If there's anything that you want to comment on, anything interesting, anything you want to learn more about, comment away. Also, always hit the subscribe. That's how we give you updates.
Always.
This next live stream, it's a year. It's going to be very interesting. So, okay. So how about some intros? Kimberly, Justine.
Okay, so I'm Kimberly, and I am all things logistics. I'm the supply chain manager around here, so we make sure we're ordering and shipping, and we're getting your gloves to you on time. That's what I do.
Woohoo!
I'm Justine. I'm the national sales for the Northwest and the Midwest. And then running the show is, of course, Ashley.
Hi.
If you've enjoyed our content and chatted with us on any of our social media accounts, you have been talking to Ashley.
Hello. So a little bit about Eagle Protect. I know we go over this every time, but we are the world's first B Corp certified disposable glove supplier. We are focused on product quality and ethical practice. We have gone, over this before in some other live streams. We also created Delta Zero, which is our proprietary glove quality testing program, which essentially just elevates the standards for reliability and safety of your gloves. And we are hoping that slowly but surely that becomes more of an industry standard. So again, today we're going over the top 8 glove problems that people see with disposable gloves, and mainly what we see because we do a lot of glove talking.
Do gloves
It's like all the time,
all day, every day.
All day, every day. We talk about gloves.
Mhm.
So, all right. The first problem that we've talked about a lot is ripping.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
It is very frustrating. Yeah. So, Justine, do you want to chat about that one?
Sure. This is actually the number one problem I hear companies dealing with when it comes to disposable gloves. Usually it comes down to poor manufacturing standards and then poor quality materials that they're using.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of manufacturers are adding like cheap fillers, like chalk is a very common one, and that just doesn't stretch very well,
Right.
and it makes the glove weak and prone to tearing. So Eagle gloves, of course, we make sure they're made of high quality ingredients. They need to be durable.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be indestructible, of course. Like they will rip if you tear it all the way to your shoulder. But I feel they noticeably outperform most of the gloves on the market. And, we do the testing to ensure this is the case.
Yeah. And then this is another thing that comes with ripping, but how do you avoid ripping? Because like what Justine said, they're not indestructible. But what can someone do if they want to purchase a glove that, isn't made from cheap ingredients? And, if they're having ripping problems.
So I would say you choose gloves verified for durability, and shout out to Eagle Protect, like our third-party testing program that we do, our Delta Zero. It's really important to get the right glove material for your task. And for instance, like you could use nitrile for tough jobs, but you could use the polyethylene, like those little Mickey Mouse hands at the Subway the sandwich shop. You can use those as well for the lighter work.
Yeah. So problem number 2, glove contamination. We've talked about this again, but this is a huge one.
Okay, right. So I'd say to remember that wearing gloves does not make you invincible. So I see it all the time, actually, and you notice it when you're glove people.
Yeah.
But lots of people will touch a contaminated surface with a glove on, and they're spreading germs without realizing it. So sometimes people think because I have a glove, then this isn't happening. But yeah, guess what? If you're touching your face, and then you touch the sandwich meat that you're cutting and giving it to the customer, that's a problem. So just be mindful of that. Be careful and change your gloves, especially if you think they're dirty.
Yes, and similar to how gloves have been independently tested, and how that can help reduce ripping, like we just talked about, you can get gloves that have been tested to ensure that they're sanitary. The one we're familiar with is obviously our Delta Zero testing, which we've talked about a lot. But most people don't know that gloves can become contaminated during manufacturing. So when a glove is made, essentially there's a bunch of formers. It's kind of a cool process, but they're all stacked up in a line essentially, and they dip into nitrile and then they dip into water. And so sometimes that water that they use to manufacture these gloves is not clean water or sanitary water. And so that can actually introduce contaminants into your, production process and then onto the glove. And it's weird because when you take actually the glove off, that's the inside of the glove. And so, most people don't think, oh, well, that's inside. But if a glove's ripping, that's introducing those contaminants. It can also be on the outside. It's a whole thing. So if you need to make sure that those processes are like kind of locked in, and that's what we try to do. Again, another shameless plug.
And that the testing is like the inside and the outside of the glove.
Exactly.
Like you said, the contamination can be on the inside.
Right.
Also, I'd like to add, always wash your hands. It should be a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Before and after use. It's just a big part of reducing your cross-contamination in the facility.
Yep, that's a huge one. And we have some best practices. So if you want ever a refresher, reach out. We can get you that. We have a form. We have all the things. So we can help.
All the things.
Yep. So on to our third problem. All right, chemical protection. So this is a very broad topic, but it's also a very important one because it can protect not only, products, but this one is mainly for the wearer of the gloves.
Okay, yeah, it is. So it can range from harsh cleaning chemicals to things that our emergency services encounter, like fentanyl and xylazine. Gloves aren't all the same for chemical and fentanyl exposure, and not every glove can handle every chemical or should be used when encountering the opioids. So we have, again, Eagle Protect has 4 different gloves with the fentanyl protection, and then 2 of them are tested for the xylazine as well. So our gloves have been lab tested specifically against these drugs so that we know they have protection for up to 4 hours because that's how long the test goes for.
Yeah. But hopefully, if you are working in emergency services, you are not in contact with a substance that's potentially exposing you to fentanyl or xylazine for 4 hours. Hopefully you're changing, your gloves more often.
That's not funny, but that would be
a very scary situation. So
it's very important. And, even in food processing, when I work with food processors, I commonly run into the gloves that are being used for cleaning chemicals. If you're not using the right glove they can actually break down during use. And then the worker is really not protected with what they need. And that can, the chemicals can be harsh on their skin and toxic. So I always recommend checking a glove's chemical chart or rating and to see if it's been tested against that specific chemical to start. But then it's not every chemical in the world. We don't know all the chemicals you might be using in your facility, so they can't all be tested. We really recommend testing on yourself, on your own gloves. So prior to using, not on your hand, just lay it flat, and you can put a little bit of the chemical on the glove, let it sit for as long as you think the person will be in contact with that chemical. And, if the glove degrades, then it's just not going to be the right quality or fit for you. And please don't use the glove if that's happening. So if it passes the test, then that's a good fit and it's safer to use.
Right. Yeah, and that's really good advice. If you ever, again, need help with this or questions, reach out. We're happy to help. If it's our glove, if it's not our glove, we just want to make sure people are working safely. So let's talk price. So sometimes a low price can equal low quality. We talked, chalk fillers and those sort of things with gloves if they're low quality materials. So a high price, though, doesn't always equal best in class. So it's not always the best quality glove either. So you kind of have to watch out for that.
Right. Price. Nobody likes to talk about that.
No.
All right. So I think the best thing here would be to look at the cost per use, not the cost per box. And I know all of you out there always ask me the cost per box. So a quality glove that doesn't rip, again, Eagle Protect. I'm just kidding. Okay, so in the long run, it's going to be cheaper when you have that high quality glove. And that's because, you could be burning through 3 boxes a week. And if you rip 5 gloves, just putting them on to get 1 to work, you've bought 6 gloves and used 1.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I hope it does.
Yeah.
So make sure you look at the cost per use. It's definitely better for your budget and in the long run.
And we can help with that too. We have some tools to go through that with you. So if you're ever interested in diving into that more, just contact us.
Yeah. Our sales team really knows how to go through that for sure. So Next up is skin irritation. This is one that we get so many questions about. We get a lot of interest in on our blog posts. I mean, people unfortunately are dealing with this a lot in relation to their disposable gloves.
Yeah, it's really horrible, and I really feel for people that have this problem. A lot of people I encounter, you have to wear gloves every day, and if you have skin irritation every day, that's just not something fun to live with. But it's also one of the easier problems to fix, so that's the silver lining there. So if gloves are making your hands itch or break out, it's probably the glove ingredients or poor manufacturing practices. So choose gloves that are made with high quality materials, good manufacturing practices and standards. It's really that simple. A lot of the poor quality gloves could have pesticides, and of course your skin's not going to react well to that.
Yeah, so sometimes it's not even always the latex. It's not even just like the chemical in your glove.
It could be we don't even know what can be in some of these gloves. Like it's just whatever they can to put fillers to make more of it, and it's not going to be good for your skin because we don't like those sort of things coming in contact with us. So really choose the gloves with high quality materials. I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but if you find a company you can trust that has full transparency with their methods, it sounds like, well, shouldn't everyone? They don't.
Yeah.
So just do a little bit of digging, make sure there's that transparency, and it should be a better, better quality for you to use. So, it really could be a game changer with skin issues, and then you won't have anyone on your team suffering or complaining. This will help your production as well because they're not going to be taking the gloves off to itch their skin, wash their hands because they're discomfort. So, simple fix, but important.
Yeah.
And I mean, avoid latex. That should be, we shouldn't have to say that. A lot of people are allergic to latex, and that shouldn't be used in any food processing for sure. So if you are sensitive to latex, which I think it is like 50% of people can be sensitive to it, just don't use it. Nitrol's a good alternative.
Yep. That's why we stopped, producing that type of glove. Vinyl as well. Sorry.
Yeah. Also,
vinyl has a lot of those nasty chemicals in it that people are allergic to.
They react to.
Mm-hmm.
So, Justine kind of touched on this. When you have skin issues, you kind of reduce your worker efficiency.
Yep.
So this is onto solution for glove problem number 6. So worker efficiency. If gloves don't fit or are constantly ripping, or your skin is irritated or too tight or whatever, it can really put a dent in companies' production efficiency. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people skip over gloves in general. They don't even think about it as a issue. So that's one that we look at a lot.
Right. So that's so true. So bulky gloves, the wrong size, having to constantly notice that they're ripping. So imagine this. So you're working right and on the production floor, and you notice that your glove has ripped. And so you need to stop what you're doing, take the glove off, walk over to the dispenser, wash your hands, right? Put that glove back on. Probably say hi to Julia in the corner.
Yeah.
Walk back over, pick up what you're doing, and get back to work. So this kind of stuff really slows your team down, and you wouldn't really think of it until you think of it, right?
No. And that time adds up fast.
It does.
Right. And so well-made gloves boost efficiency, bottom line. And it can also give workers better dexterity and reduce hand fatigue, kind of like what Justine was touching on there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So problem number 7 is an important one, and it's in the name. So disposable gloves are disposable. They are thrown away, and this can lead to concerns that people may have on environmental impact, especially when a company is trying to reduce their environmental impact, and they understand that a disposable product they have to use every day might impact their ability to be green per se.
Mm-hmm. I love, I'm encountering so many more companies that are trying to be more sustainable and aware of their waste. But, we have to be careful not to sacrifice safety at the same time. So we are a B Corp. Sustainability and ethical practices are very important to us, as well as ensuring the gloves are doing their job. So we have that healthy balance with Eagle Protect. And we try to get our customers to think about the 3 R's that we've probably all learned about in elementary school. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can't reuse your gloves. That's a no-no. That's disgusting.
Yep.
Recycling, where it currently is, it has a lot of challenges, especially recycling used disposable gloves.
Right.
So we focus on the reducing, which is a big impact if you are really reducing, especially in large production facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So we sell thinner, high quality gloves. And our goal is to reduce your your ripping so that you use less gloves in the first place. So really the amount of gloves going in the trash every day is going to decrease. And then when you do have to throw a glove in the trash, it's going to be a thinner glove made of less material.
Right.
So that weight of waste is going to be less overall as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been some changes in the ASTM biodegradability standards.
Yes.
Do you want to talk more about that?
Yes. So I'm going to put a link in the chat really quickly here because this kind of gets a little bit technical.
And we get so many questions about biodegradability. So
Yeah.
we're on top of all this new information, and this is very recent and just came out. So
yeah. So
should
it's
help.
You kind of get into the weeds a little bit, but we do have a little blurb at the top of this blog that I just linked in the chat. So essentially, there have been some changes. One standard for biodegradability has been completely removed, and another is being voted on later this year. So the reason for this, and to be removed as well. So that's it looks like they're both going to be removed. But this is because the science behind biodegradability isn't necessarily lining up with what the standard is stated. So when a glove biodegrades or breaks down in a landfill, that science is not necessarily relating to the standard that was set for the creation of these biodegradable gloves. I hope that makes sense. I know that's kind of a weird way of saying it, but it's just basically that the standards and the science, they're missing each other a little. So they're trying to rework that. But in order to do that, they have to remove the current standards. And then hopefully that leaves room for innovation and a better way of doing things. We always want that. We're not anti-biodegradability. It's just that currently the way things are, there just isn't a great solution or way of doing it. And so we want to make sure that we're still up with the times on all of this. And if there comes a time when this is, more viable, of course we want to explore that. So that's a great thing to just clarify as well.
Yeah, we always get that. Why aren't we biodegradable? And that's just why it's not. Yeah. The science is really not there that biodegradable gloves are actually better for the environment. So something to keep in mind. Read the blog. It'll help explain that more.
Yeah,
it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it's really it gets in the weeds. So
just greenwashing is very real.
Very real. And a lot of people, and the thing with greenwashing is a lot of people don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies don't understand this. So it's really important, if you are interested or your company is getting these gloves, read this and bring this to people's attention, because this could help with your green claims if you're really focused on that as a company as well. You want to make sure that you aren't saying something that is combating ethical or biodegradable claims.
Right.
So, okay, last but not least on our list of our top 8 glove problems, this is our 8th one, is ethical supply chain. Woohoo! So how do you know your gloves were made ethically? Forced labor and poor working conditions, unfortunately, and very sadly, are pretty widespread in the glove industry, but also in a lot of industries. But we can touch on glove industry because that's what we know. But that's just something that we've seen. So
right, yeah, you're right. It is surely a sad thing. So that's why we encourage everyone buying disposable gloves to check for ethical certifications. Like, for example, I think it was mentioned earlier, Eagle Protect, again, is a B Corp certified company. So we make sure that our factories are audited, and it's not we're not audited; it's the third party auditing, right? Which is why we have that certification. So we're making sure that the working conditions are good for everybody. There's no forced labor, like Ashley said, no child labor. That is a huge thing overseas. So transparency about this throughout the supply chain is so important. And I would really hope, and I know it's not always true, but we're getting there. I think everyone's getting better as time goes on. That companies that know that there's forced labor, child labor, do something about it, right? Mm-hmm. Find somebody who does it better, or stop buying that brand because you've heard of things happening or whatnot. Yeah. So be responsible. Transparent supply chain is more and more every day. People are doing it more and more every day. So find those companies.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It can make a big difference. Just
right. And like
knowing
Ashley
where
said,
your products come from.
Right. And like Ashley said, it's all industries, not just glove industries, right? We need to do better as a world, as people, right?
Yeah, I agree. So that is our top 8 glove problems and their solutions and things like that. I'm glad we were able to talk about that with everyone. So if anyone has any questions, it seems like it's been a bit of a quiet live stream, which is fine with us.
These were just the top 8. So if you have more like other problems we didn't touch on, we want to know too.
Totally.
We've likely encountered it and we can help with that, but these were just the top 8 most common.
Yes. So I kind of jinxed us a little bit. We did get a question. Thank you. No problems with questions. Love them.
Yeah.
Can you show how to check the durability of the gloves when put on? Okay, so this actually, I have something. We have a durability test on our YouTube already that will be really helpful for this. So mainly a durability test, like if you're putting it on and it's ripping, that's not maybe the right glove.
Especially
at the cuff or the fingertips.
Yeah.
Pulling the palm is a good way to do it as well.
Yeah.
Just because that's where, when you're using machinery or handling food, a lot of people may experience rips in the palm or between the fingers. So just kind of pulling the glove in different areas.
Yeah.
Don't pull it all the way out here, but
yeah. So the big thing to remember though too is that if it is ripping when you're putting it on, it could be a sizing issue as well. Mm-hmm. So if it's some gloves again are not indestructible. If you have the wrong size and it's way too small, it's gonna rip.
If you have wet hands,
you
need to make sure your hands are dried. So there are different things to ensure that you're doing correctly before putting the glove on as well.
Yes. Right. So the other thing that actually gets a little bit more into the weeds. I really feel like I'm saying that a lot today. Sorry, everyone. But this is a video that shows how to test or see disposable glove like material quality. Mm-hmm. And that can really show you without even putting it on or without, the risk of ripping while you're doing your task. That can show you if your glove is a good quality glove just based off of material alone. So
the balloon test is a good one, and it'll show it in that video, but blowing it up, and if it's kind of cloudy and murky, then there's a lot going on in there. Probably a lot of fillers that are going to break when you're using your glove.
Yeah, it's big if you can see swirls of material or different things, that can be like an actual sign of seeing kind of like the filler in there. So that's a great video to check out. And if you want a durable glove, you can always get one of ours. So shameless plug again. All right. So thank you for being here and for engaging with us. And we will see you next month. It is a special month. It's our anniversary of these live streams. Yay. And we have some big events happening. So we'll update then. Subscribe, follow, and let us know what glove topic you want us to tackle in the coming months. We'll be doing this every month again. So stay safe.
Chat with your salespeople. Yes. We can help.
Seriously.
Call.
Message on social media. I will respond. We have our newsletters if you want it. There's many ways we can talk to you. So just get involved. But we always like to say stay safe, glove up. because, be safe. And have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.